Even Dublin's a fair distance. What, an hour to get here?
Yeah.
Give or take 10 minutes.
The way I drive is less.
Drew's here.
What is this? Hi, Bobrakash. Come on in, folks. Is this for the microphone speaker?
Speaker, I just get put it
Okay.
up out of the way.
Enormous arrangement.
Coincidence.
Everyone's welcome. I don't know where you're going to sit, though. That's the question mark.
Got this wall here.
Sunday, you're going to play the harmonium, aren't you?
I could play if there's someone to play the Madonga also.
Yeah, we have Madonga players.
Okay, good.
Jivananda plays and Mananda plays. Some of our Ukrainian devotees play, I don't know. Jai, are you gentlemen, Dhruva, you might find the door is a little awkward for you there. I don't know if devotees are going to come in that way. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Do we have any more cushions for the floor? Uncomfortable for the devotees without a cushion.
Oh, plates there, yeah.
Hare Krishna. Today is the Purnima today, huh? Purnima. Today we move into the third month of Chaturmasya. And this month we'll be fasting from milk. Milk fast. If you're following the rules. Prabhupada wasn't very pushy on these things. But he did mention it. But aside from that, it's a very special Purnima today. It's called the Bhadra Purnima. Very auspicious Purnima. And we'll hear about that a little bit more later on. But it's on this day, September the 18th. Is that right, today? 18th? I forgot to mention yesterday, of course, was Tirobhav of Haridas Thakur. But it was also the day that Prabhupada arrived in Boston yesterday, on the Western calendar. And today is the day that he wrote the Markandeya Bhagavad Dharma. I didn't know that we were going to be here. We sang this, we tried to sing this in Dublin Temple the other day. Some of you were there? Who was there in Dublin when we sang Markandeya Bhagavad Dharma? Only one, two. You were there. Oh, there's no law against singing it again, is there? Is it okay? It's not too. You sang I heard you sing Hare Krishna in Dublin. You sang it again just now, so it must be okay. Never becomes dry. It becomes ever increasingly, relishable. So today is the day Prabhupada wrote the Markandeya Bhagavad Dharma, 18th of September. And today is the day he left for New York. Today is also Bhadra Purnima. Today is also Vishwarup Mahotsav. Vishwarup Mahotsav is the day, well, there's different opinions on that, but the day that he ascended or took sannyas, or the different opinions. But Lord Chaitanya's brother, his elder brother who left Ekachakragram some years before Lord Nityananda left. He went away on a tour of India with a sadhu, and he eventually ended up in Pandharpur. And it said there he left this world in Pandharpur. This festival to celebrate. He's an expansion of Lord Balaram. So literally was. They're all linked up anyway. And Lord Nityananda went to Pandharpur on pilgrimage many years later. Vishwarup rather, he just left home. Now his brother, sorry I'm getting mixed up. Vishwarup left home, he's the brother of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vishwambara's brother. He left home because his parents wanted him to get married, of course. He went away and took sannyas and left this world. And then later on, Lord Nityananda, when he went to Pandharpur, it's understood that Vishrup entered into the form of Lord Nityananda. So they're the same Balaram, form of Balaram. And then in the form of Nityananda. So in that way, Nityananda was actually the brother of Lord Chaitanya. So celebrate his Vishrup Mahotsav today. And it's also the day today when Srila Prabhupada accepted the sannyas order of life in 1959 in Mathura. Yeah. Keshava Gaudiya Math in Mathura. He accepted sannyas from Holiness Keshava Bhagan Maharaj, one of his godbrothers. On this day in 1959, how many years ago was that? 65 years, isn't it? 65 years ago. And Prabhupada took sannyas, which was very significant because his godbrother told him that Abai, as Prabhupada was known, Abai Babu, how will you take up this mission of preaching everywhere if you don't take sannyas? He practically ordered him, you must take sannyas. So Prabhupada accepted sannyas from his godbrother. And of course, 5 or 6 years later, he was on board the Jaladuta, heading towards America. And on this day, he took sannyas on this day. He also wrote this poem, Markani Bhagavat Dharma, on this day. So we'll hear about that in a little while. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sahitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakadamaham Tadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namah Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvasesha Suryavari Pastachari Sattvari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaurabhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Well, where should we begin? Many events on this day, a very auspicious day. Plus, yesterday was Haridas Thakur's Tirupal. We spoke on this yesterday in Belfast. We spoke on this in Leicester last week. They asked us to speak in Leicester, England. We spoke on this in Mayapur, New Mayapur in France just a couple of weeks ago. We had a group came in, they wanted to hear about Haridas Thakur and the Holy Name. Whatever little we could share, we tried to share it and remember the importance of association. how important, if we want to advance in spiritual life, material, so association is important. If we want to become expert in a particular subject, we generally associate with persons who are in that line, in that field of expertise. In spiritual life also, if we want to advance spiritually, we all need to have advanced association. With modern social media, it's been made a little bit more available, you can see. But it's not the same as the personal association. We associate through instructions, of course, as well. So yesterday we heard about Haridas. Maybe we'll hear a little bit more about it tonight. But in the meantime, we're going to hear something about Srila Prabhupada and his arrival in Boston. Is Dhruva not with us?
Dhruva?
Maybe he's hungry.
Dhruva?
Yeah, that's what. No one should be forced.
Right.
I think what we'll do is, today, Srila Prabhupada has, yesterday, on the 36th day of his journey from Calcutta, on the 36th day, the boat safely reached Boston Harbor. At 5:30 in the morning, on the 17th of September, early morning. It would have probably been something like the Brahma Muhurta time, I guess, 5:30. Early in the morning. I can't show you any of the pictures because we don't have a screen. We are now on the dockyard of Boston. This is the 17th. And at 10 a.m. the customs officers and others came on the ship. They are now issued the admittance permission after due checking, etc. I saw the Boston town with the captain. It is very nice. And I shall describe it in a separate note. 36 days starting from Calcutta. We stayed the whole day and night at Boston till 4 p.m. the next day. That's the 18th, that's today. 4 p.m. Boston time. Then they left for the journey to New York. I jump over these pictures, which we mentioned the other day in Dublin. Prabhupada, in lecturing in Atlanta in 1975, he said, when I first came, I had no money. Do you know how much money Prabhupada had?
$7.
Pardon?
$7?
The equivalent of $7 in rupees, 40 rupees. You couldn't really change 40 rupees in those days, but it was theoretically worth $7. That's okay. What happened? The battery is gone, and so ended the amplification. Has come back again. It's okay. It came back to work again. Woke up. But probably a little bit more than that, because he sold one. He sold one set. It's gone again. He sold one set of his Srimad Bhagavatams to the captain, Captain Pandya, and he gave him $20. So Yeah, a little bit more than that, and like that. But not much. So Prabhupada said, I got a free passage through some Indian steam navigation company. So I came by ship. Other than these ocean liners, people don't usually go by ship much, do they now? Across the channel maybe, small journeys. There was not many people would go by air in those days. Now if you want to go to America, more or less anywhere really, other than local, you go by air, generally speaking. The boat ride, if you want to go by boat, for instance, from Dublin to New York, would have taken probably 8 days or something. Quite a long time. And only people who are going on holiday in the ocean, they call them liners, they may go like that. Most people don't do that anymore. Very rare. But then it was a norm. But this was not an ordinary boat. This boat was a cargo ship. So I came by ship. So when I was on the ship at Boston Port, Commonwealth Port, Prabhupada said, I was thinking that I have come here. I do not know what is the purpose, because how the people will accept this movement, how they'll accept it. Prabhupada was warned by Mrs. Samati Maharaji and her secretary, Mr. Chokshi, that people there in America, they will not be able to hear this message. They will not be interested. I think because Prasadam was late, he's hungry, he's very tired. It's so good to have Prasadam before the talk. But yes, Prabhupada was told that they all eat meat and this thing and that thing. Nobody, they're all different. They live a different lifestyle. Swamiji, what will you do there? Stay here, Mrs. Samati Maharaji said. I will help finance your books. You can do it here. Oh, Prabhupada said, no, you need to serve my spiritual master. He has ordered me. This is on his order. I didn't really like America, but on the order of my spiritual master I went. So Prabhupada said, I do not know what is the purpose, because how the people will accept this movement? They are differently educated. And as soon as I will say, my dear sir, you have to give up meat eating and illicit sex, and no intoxication, and no gambling. Imagine, when Prabhupada's godbrother, I think Bon Maharaj, I think it was, when he was in England in the 30s, 1930s, he was preaching to one Lord Zetland, who had previously been in Bengal or something, a little bit interested. So Lord Zetland said, Swamiji, can you make me a Brahmana? Oh yes, said Bon Maharaj. Okay, what do I have to do? And Prabhupada's godbrother said, oh, nothing, it's very easy, just stop eating meat, stop illicit sex, stop gambling, and stop intoxications, that's all. And then the next thing, but that's just the beginning, just follow these principles. Impossible, he said. It is impossible, forget that. Some people say they'd rather die than have to follow those principles. That's their idea of pleasure in life. Kali Yuga is so unfortunate. So the Prabhupada said, if I say that, as soon as I say that, they will reply to me, Swamiji, please go home. Back to Tipperary, wherever you came from. Back to England. Yeah. What is this? Coming over here, tell us we have to give up intoxications. No meat eating. Go away. So I was thinking, I will propose something which is impossible. So let me try. Because Prabhupada had heard that. God, Lord Zeppelin said impossible. But Prabhupada said, let me try. Prabhupada didn't have any security, as you know, when he went there, pretty much none. He had practically no money, no support from India. A very loose and vague invitation to America. And no idea how we would stay or how long he could stay, nothing. He got a 2-month visa when he arrived. The immigration asked him, Prabhupada thought maybe I can stay 2 months, not more. Because he didn't know how he's going to eat. He brought a big bag of cereal with him, some kind of cereal, chip rice, puff rice, I don't know what it was. Thinking there'd be nothing to eat in America. Only potatoes. Because Americans, he doesn't eat meat. No fish, chicken, meat, this, that, the other. And didn't know if you could get rice and dal, which you could, of course. Probably happy to find out. At that point, he was thinking, maybe there'd be nothing to eat. So he got a 2 months stay visa. He was sponsored for 1, but the immigration gave him another extra for 2. And of course Prabhupada eventually went to his sponsor's house. But on the morning of the 18th of September, which is today, Prabhupada wrote a poem. And you will have to look this up, I'm afraid, because unless you've got a quick setup for a projector, we're not going to really show it. And that would be difficult, so much technical arrangement would be required. So it doesn't matter. If you have a songbook, you'll find it in the songbook. If you have a mobile phone, you can find it on your mobile phone. And like that, there I can see one songbook straight away. Maybe 3 of them already. That's more than most temples have. Some temples don't have any at all. None.
What song is it, Maharaj?
Makine Bhagavat Dharma is pretty much in the beginning of the songbook. It's not the very beginning, but after the Mangalacharana prayers, you'll find a few other prayers, maybe Sikshastakam and Makine Bhagavat Dharma is there also. The first section of the song. It may or may not be in there, but I can't guarantee. It's in this one, I know.
The first line is
Well, it depends. Makine Bhagavat Dharma is the name, is famous, and the first line of the song is Baro Kripa. I hope it's there. This was printed in Malaysia, so I can't guarantee. We printed what we were told to print, so I don't know if it's there or not. It's just after that section. There it is.
There's the lotus feet of lotus.
Yeah, will it be the next one?
I have a copy here.
The very song after that prayer to the lotus feet. Just go to the next page.
Yeah.
page 29.
Yeah.
So if you can, either tune in on the songbook or tune in online. There, you can do that. Or whatever you've got.
Acha.
Well, we'll go, because of the wonderful events today, I'm going to go through the translation first. It's a bit of a hassle getting this ready because, as you know, my PowerPoint ceased to function. I've had to transfer it into another system. Many things were not on there because the font problem. So this translation of this poem which Prabhupada wrote, where he was really alone. I mean, he was literally sitting alone in a cabin on board the ship, cargo ship in Boston, alone. I mean, nobody in the world knew, other than the captain practically, had a little idea, but pretty much no one else knew he was there or what he was doing there. He almost left his body on the journey, heart attacks and things. And here he is in this strange place in America. Well, I'll just read a little bit before we read that. Let's see. After a 35-day journey from Calcutta, the Jaladuta reached Boston's Commonwealth Pier. You already read that. Among the first things Srila Prabhupada saw in America were the letters A and P painted on the pier front warehouse. What was significant about that? Why did they put that there for? What difference does it make? I saw a sign A and P. Could have been X and Z. What difference does it make? Why has he written that? And I don't think he's
Explain.
qualified it. It went along with the sign, unalloyed steel.
That's
Unalloyed steel. And Prabhupada was reminded of his mission, unalloyed devotion. You have to have steel to preach sometimes too. Soft as a rose, sometimes hard. The grey waterfront dawn revealed the ships in the harbour. Prabhupada would sometimes talk about this. There's a little bit of writer's license, but generally Prabhupada gave it a little idea. A conglomeration of lobster stands and drab buildings, and I can tell you it's pretty drab. Have you been to Boston Commonwealth Harbour, Nanda?
Yes.
You been there? It's brightened up a little bit, but it used to be quite drab, the area around it. Drab, you know what this word means? Drab. You know this word, drab?
Grey, dull.
Dull, very
Colourless.
ugly, kind of ugly almost, you know. Not very attractive. Drab, very boring. Dull and boring. And, yeah, drab buildings. And next to the stand, next to the Prabhupada land on Commonwealth Pier, there was another stand next to it, I've forgotten the name. But it's the fish pier. All the fish, that was the biggest fishing pier in the world at one time, I believe. Maybe not now, but it was then. Huge pier, all fishing vessels, lobsters. And what have you. So there's all these different stores selling lobsters. And probably could see the city of Boston, the skyline in the distance across the harbour. Prabhupada had to pass through US immigration and customs. Stamped with Captain Pandya. Captain Pandya invited Prabhupada to take a walk into Boston, where the captain intended to do some shopping. They walked across a footbridge into a busy commercial area with old churches, warehouses, office buildings, bars, tawdry bookshops, nightclubs and restaurants. So they walked a little distance, obviously, from the front. Prabhupada briefly observed the city, but the most significant thing about his short stay in Boston, aside from the fact that he had now set foot in America, was that at Commonwealth Pier he wrote another Bengali poem entitled Markine Bhagavat Dharma, teaching Krishna consciousness in America. Some of the verses he wrote on board the ship that day are as follows. The verses he wrote, I'll read them from the full amount. They've only put some here. This is the full translation of this poem which he wrote in Bengali and Sanskrit. This is English translation which we have. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Just imagine the situation Prabhupada's in and how his relationship with Krishna and how he's revealing his heart to Krishna here. Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. And therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. Imagine Prabhupada's only just spent a little while walking around a part of Boston, And he's already picturing the whole situation. They say if you're in the ocean and you take one little drop of the ocean water, you can understand the quality, the character of the rest of the ocean. It's salty, wet and salty. So a little bit of experience, Prabhupada was able to ascertain that the nature of these people is very passionate and ignorant. And I have no idea how they will have, as long as people are happy in this world. When I say that, I mean absorbed in the material energy. They can never understand this message of Krishna consciousness. How many of you have been to those? I mentioned this the other day, maybe I mentioned it in Dublin, I don't know. Anyone who's been to the Gold Coast?
What coast?
The Gold Coast. The Gold Coast. Gold, everything's golden there. Everyone's rich, golden. So, they call it the Gold Coast. Why do they call it the Gold Coast?
Because the beaches are so
Golden. Okay,
golden
there we
beaches.
go, golden beaches. Not because everyone's got gold. But they do try to get gold. There's a big gambling casino there. It's like one of Cully's major, in Australia, it's the Cully's capital, isn't it? The Gold Coast. Surfer's paradise. It's a big, you've been there many times, isn't it? Because he has a lot of outlets in Australia, that's for sure, Cully. And the Surfer's Paradise is probably, if not the most, it's one of the most. Big gambling, lots of intoxicants, lots of nice boys and girls mix up there, and lots of restaurants selling every kind of food under the sun practically. Isn't it? It's really enjoyers. They go there, the devotees stood there with a chant and be happy book. Haribo, please take this book, chant and be happy. And give a donation. You know what? People are suffering in this world. People are in so much stress. And there's this like muscular young, surfer, the guy, sun-tanned, big smile with a beautiful girl under his arm and a bottle of beer in the other hand and a surfboard. And they're a beautiful sunny day and the surf is nice. The beach is there. You're trying to tell him he's suffering. Surf, you said I'm surfing, man? Yeah, you're right, I'm surfing. What are you talking about, suffering? You okay? Well, take the book and give a donation. Well, I'll give you a donation and maybe you'll be happy, but not the book. I'm happy enough, mate. I don't need your book. I'm happy. Pretty hard to convince people who are convinced that they're... But how long will that last? I think, like this microphone speaker, it only lasts so long. How long?
Maybe it's Maharaj's side.
It's me. It's me. It's me. It's all my fault. God, dear.
It's your karma, Maharaj. I mean the battery pack in this.
Oh, the battery pack maybe. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. All's good now. It's working very well now. When it lasts, it's good, eh? But nothing lasts forever in this world. Your surf, your beautiful youth, the girlfriend, everything comes to an end. Pop. You may be thinking you're happy now, but what about in 50 years, 100 years, however long you're going to live, Who knows? This false concept of happiness in this world, when death is dawning on us, any time can come. So anyway, but people who are absorbed in this way, they can't really understand this. They have no taste for this message. What's this, man? This is a load of rubbish, they say. Oh, I can't. This is nothing. What is this? I'm not interested. Prabhupada said, I do not know how they will be able to understand it. How will they understand this message, for goodness? So difficult. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. By Krishna's grace, everything's possible. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? But to speak of, you're not the body. Even that's beyond people's. They may sometimes talk, oh, maybe I'm a spirit soul, but to really, that doesn't go much beyond the mind usually. But mellows of devotional service? What is that? Oh Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. The mercy of Krishna only is not our techniques, it's not our so-called expertise or our so-called being an advanced devotee or whatever. It's the mercy of the Lord. Prabhupada was praying for that mercy, so I could be able to convince them of this message. All living entities have come under the control of the illusory energy by your will. Without Krishna's will, nobody can, nothing. I mean, you can't enter this material world unless Krishna arranges it. There isn't a material world unless Krishna arranges it. We want... Oh, there we go. We're back in action again, huh? We're praying for Krishna's mercy, that's why it happened. We just prayed. I don't know how this loudspeaker will work. I'm simply praying to you, my Lord, for your mercy. It will again work.
I'm like the communists, you want bread?
Yeah. You think I made it work. I caused the loudspeaker to work. Everything's but an arrangement of Krishna. He's fulfilling the will, desire of the living entity, reciprocating. Our choice, Krishna, we don't have any means to fulfill our choice, so like a loving parent, they give the child the means to fulfill its desires. Not that Krishna wants us to come into this world, but we do. So he provides this world with some toys for us to play with. And then when we no longer want it, by his will we can come out of it again. But as long as we're still attached to trying to enjoy the toys of this material world in the form of whatever, material various material bodies, then we have to remain in this world. And by your mercy they can be released. I wish that you may deliver them. Pure devotees are oceans of compassion. Vanchakalpatrubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitnam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. We offer a respectful obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees and are full of compassion for all the fallen, conditioned souls. Therefore, if you so desire, because ultimately has to be Krishna's desire. It's not a whimsical thing. He's reciprocating with his devotees, he's reciprocating with the jivas, the living entities. But ultimately it's by his will. No one can release themselves. You can't release yourself from the prison. Even if you qualify to release this, up to the leader, up to the controller to release this. They have to desire it. Then only will they be able to understand your message. If you so desire, you'll give the intelligence where people can actually, suddenly it becomes clear. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. That's the secret. Oral reception. But how can we hear submissively with oral reception when the mind is full of material desires? We can read in the first canto, 3rd chapter, in the last verse, how Sutta Goswami says to the sages of Naimisharanya, Now hear me, as I have heard from Shukadev, you now hear from me with rapt attention, or submissive oral reception. And Srila Prabhupada describes it. This is the secret of seeing Krishna on the pages of the Bhagavatam. This submissive hearing. But when our mind is distracted or full of other things, then our attention is not very submissive. It's very wavering, unclear. Just like when we look in the mirror, when the mirror is dirty, you can't see clearly. These spectacles, when they're dirty, we cannot see properly. We have to clean them. Let's clean the glass. So the heart is like that, is our consciousness is like that, is through which we're seeing or perceiving the objects around us. Through our consciousness, using the senses, of course, in various ways. So as long as the consciousness is covered consciousness, then what we see is very misty or cloudy, very vague. That has to be cleansed, so probably. One can only see, one can only hear with rapt attention if one is pure in heart. To be pure in heart, we have to be pure in our lifestyle, our behavior, and being pure in our eating and sleeping, mating, everything, defending. This is the process. We have to purify our means of perception. And then Prabhupada, the beautiful picture. Sri Krishna, then he puts in his poem, he puts in about 5 or 6 verses directly from the Bhagavatam in the 2nd chapter of the 1st canto. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, honest one who is not duplicitous, but is sincere. He cleanses, Krishna cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages. This is an ongoing process. They go on simultaneously. It's not that one stops and one starts. As by serving the devotees, we're free to fall by dancing. One great service is done. By such service, one develops this attraction for hearing about Krishna. It's not complete, but the attraction is developing. As that attraction develops, Krishna reciprocates and cleanses away the various coverings on the heart which are blocking our flow of attraction. So it depends a little on our sincerity, our genuine desire, and our faith in hearing and chanting. And as our faith or our desire, our attraction for hearing and chanting grows, and then the tendency for material enjoyment diminishes. Hearing these messages of Krishna in themselves, even without proper understanding, we can say, nonetheless are virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regularly hearing or attending classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy, thus established in a mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact or devotional service to the Lord, gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions, or karma that is terminated when one sees the self as master. That is the supreme. So that's a little take out of the Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada, basically speaking, his mission, as we heard the other day, sometimes we hear Prabhupada took the Bhagavatam to America. Prabhupada said the Bhagavatam took him to America. He went along with the Bhagavatam, not that the Bhagavatam went along with him. He's a living Bhagavat. There's no real, in one sense there's a difference, in another sense person Bhagavat, book Bhagavat are one and the same. Both went together to America. What an auspicious day that was. And the day, a very auspicious day. The day Prabhupada, on board the Jaladuta, sailed from Boston to New York with the Srimad Bhagavatam on board. And today is also the Bhadra Purnima, so one of Srila Prabhupada's greatest, probably the greatest, he considered his greatest contribution in one sense was to reveal Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. And today's Bhadra Purnima, and all over the world, devotees today, well, not every devotee, but devotees all over the world are distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And indirectly or indirectly today, I don't know, the latest, if you looked on the French Sankirtan forum today and this evening, Mananda or Jivananda, the Sankirtan forum from France, can you see if any more sets have been recorded? We're up to 11 12. Last time I looked, 12 sets today in France. The last set recorded, I think, was from Mahapur Chandra. Anything since then? There's 3 more sets in the pipeline. I don't know if they've been recorded yet. So maybe 15 sets today. Let's see. We didn't make our quota. We were hoping for 108. But anyway, anything's better than nothing. I don't know how many you've done here in
Wicklow.
Wicklow. Is the wick high or is the wick low? The wick is very low. You have to turn the temperature of the wick up a little bit, and maybe somebody will get fired up to take a set of Bhagavatams.
There's Prakash on the last side.
We have a set, if anybody wants.
Pardon?
We have a set going, if anybody wants.
Yes, it should be distributed today. That would be a great achievement. Hare Krishna.
Does Prakash have a set? I'm putting you on the spot, Prakash.
So nice to see you.
Hare Krishna.
So it's a diary.
Huh?
Do you remember Gavin?
Yes.
Gavin Scary Kenter.
Hey, where is he?
He's just outside.
Good man. Well, I'm not the host here, and I don't want to upset anyone, but today it said, anyone who gives a gift of Srimad Bhagavatam, Hare Krishna, Gavin. Anyone who gives a gift of Srimad Bhagavatam on this day is guaranteed entrance into the spiritual world very soon. So who, Ananda, you know everybody here, who hasn't got a set that needs
I
one?
don't know, Prakash and so on.
You have one for cash? Who doesn't have one? Grey stones will become purified by the presence of Srimad Bhagavatam in your home. The grey stones will become gold stones. No longer grey.
Gold or gold?
Godstones, golden godstones. Yeah. Everything will become blissful in grey stones. Not a very, I don't say name for it, grey stones. Drab stones. Come on in, everybody. There's a crowds are filling up here. So it's a great opportunity. Does Gavin have a set of baritons?
I don't. I have you know, like the, you know, count as 1 to 10 and a volume, one volume, you know.
In the one volume?
I can't read it anymore.
Too small, isn't
It's
it?
too small.
He definitely needs a full set. We have a sponsor for the set.
Yeah.
Come on. There we go. There's one set down. Gavin is the first customer. Well done. Just right, the first thing that happens is you suddenly got a set of Bhagavatam. Isn't that auspicious? What an auspicious start to your arrival. I can't believe it.
Remember this day we all.
Your brother-in-law will be number 2, but you've got to get another set. There's one set sitting over there. And I don't know if there's any more sets sitting here or not. I know that Manu has just now ordered 100 sets. Huh?
Manu Prabhu has ordered 100.
Yeah, but God knows when they're going to come. There's no way of telling when they're arriving. They're on their way. Yeah, they're somewhere between the moon, India, and Turkey right now. Were they coming by bullock cart or how did they come? There's no shortage of sets. I don't understand it. We have no problem getting English Bhagavatam sets. I don't understand what the difficulty is.
The postage is very expensive from Radhadesh. They charge.
We get them from England. We get ours from England.
All right. Probably, yeah. I don't know.
Because of the
Well,
Euro Prabhu.
We're in France. We drive them over. We had one devotee on Sunday. Listen to this. The books arrived from India, Hindi, Bengali, all different languages, Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati. The ship arrived on Friday with the book. Well, it arrived a few days before. They arrived into Tikshu's warehouse on Friday. Saturday was the Brighton Rath Yatra. Sunday, I asked one devotee who's a good friend of ours, comes to France from time to time, he lives in England. Can you help us? We need these books urgently. So to Tikshu old friends, I said, can you provide these books? Yeah, about 15 sets of Indian Bhagavatams. And he knows this devotee I know very well also. So Sunday morning after the Rath Yatra, they both drove down to the Rath Yatra. This devotee drove the Rath car for Tikshu. And Sunday morning they got all the books ready. Sunday afternoon he jumped in his car, drove 15 sets over the channel to France, arrived at 1:30 in the morning, deposited the books. One of our devotees stayed up to greet him there. They put them in the book room. 5 o'clock he was on the road back to England again, and now he's leaving for Mauritius. That determination to see Prabhupada's Bhagavatams distributed. You know, it's such a wonderful experience to see Bhagavatam sets going on. It's just so transcendental. Installing the Bhagavatam in the home. It's just like, for this age, it's much more effective than installing deities in many ways. They are considered to be the book form of Krishna, literary form. So, 2 sets have gone so far. One to Prakash, one to Gavin. We just have to find the other set. Anybody else? Even they may not have physically arrived. As I mentioned the other day, in France, the year before we got the Bhagavatams reprinted after 35 years in French. 2 years ago they came out, but the year before we didn't have any books at all. No Bhagavatams in French at all. None. For 20 years they've not had any. And but we still sold 200 sets, even though we didn't have a single set available. We sold 200. In 3 months, sold 200 sets. So, pre-orders, you could say. I know people don't trust that so much, but somehow or other we managed to get everyone's trust, and the books came, and we delivered all the books to the recipients. They were all happy. So, yeah, thank you for that. That's Prabhupada's would be very happy that 2 sets of his Bhagavatams have been distributed here in Wicklow. The wick has gone up a little bit now, okay? The flame has gone up a little bit more. Wick High. Wick High.
Hi, Wicklow.
High Wycombe. We have a town in England called High Wycombe. So Wicklow has become High Wick. I don't know, maybe. High Wycombe, yeah, that's where Tribhuvannath was staying, in High Wycombe. Did you know that?
With
Like the devotee.
what's his name there?
Can't remember. We were staying with one devotee there in High Wycombe. Near the manor. Near the manor. So it has a connection also with Wicklow, so because Tribhuvannath was staying there in his last days in England, in High Wycombe. And he'll be very pleased to see 2 Bhagavatam sets going out here in Wicklow. 2 more than went out in Dublin, I must say. What to do? No, we did 6, didn't we? Yes, 6 sets in Dublin. Yeah. Yeah, in the program there we distributed 6 sets, I think on Saturday evening or whatever. 6 sets. 6 devotees agreed to take the Bhagavatam to the little pitch there, so 6 went there. 2 here, that's not bad.
Well done.
I didn't dare try in Belfast, it was a bit risky there. I did make a little effort, but it was obvious that they were, you know, perhaps the arena wasn't quite ready for it. Or I wasn't one either. Anyway, something's better than nothing. So Prabhupada in America, he carries on here. If somehow or another one can understand this Bhagavatam, he will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion. And thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? How? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them. For I am powerless to do so on my own. Prabhupada's absolute humility, absolute dependence on Krishna, even though he's the most qualified, he feels the most unqualified. In one sense he's the most fortunate, of course, because he's connected with Krishna fully. He loves Krishna. But he considers himself the most fallen, unfortunate person. Some another, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or a failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. As you know, Prabhupada never took credit for his achievements. He simply said, you know, I'm simply repeating what my spiritual master said. And he's repeating all the way back to Krishna. It's not a question of coming up with a new philosophy or a new theory. It's simply revealing the reality, the truth which is eternal. The same words that Krishna spoke to Arjuna, the same words spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, maybe in a different language, maybe in a slightly different presentation, but it's the same truth, the same message. I can simply repeat your message. It's up to you if you make my power of speaking suitable. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I'm sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. I hope that everyone in this room has experienced, at least at some time when this has happened, that you become, in the right association particularly, or whatever situation you're in, But some way or another, you absorb yourself in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I was mentioning to, maybe I think to you this morning, and recently, several times, even today when I was reading that beautiful book you have, this Sanatana Goswami, called Lagutoshni. No, Lagutoshni, I think. Lagutoshni, Sanatana Goswami. And anyway, that commentary of Sanatana Goswami on the 10th canto, maybe it's Lagu. No, it's not the Lagu, that's the small one of Jiva.
Brihad Bhagavatamrita?
Priyatoshni. No, it's this different one. One I was reading. Do you remember I was reading this morning?
There's a set of 3.
Pardon?
There's a set of 3 of them.
4 volumes. And it's really amazing. I always wanted to see it. The Haritoshni, I think it's called, Sanatana Goswami. It's amazing. And I started reading that after, I can't remember what it was, something came along. I just didn't know where it was. I wasn't in, where are we? Wicklow. I didn't know I was in Ireland. I just had no idea where I was. It was so absorbing. You were in another world. I was on the banks. I felt like I was just there on the banks of Jamuna with Lord Brahma, stealing the cows from the coward boys, trying to, and Krishna walking around with this yogurt rice in his hand, looking for the cows and coward boys in the forest. He carried that so the boys, because they were in the middle of their brunch, really, So Krishna took that with him, so they convinced the boys, you could say, because otherwise, he's going to go hungry, he's leaving in the middle of breakfast. So he took that with him so that they could stay where they were and enjoy. And Krishna was there in the forest, and anyway, you know the story. It was so absorbing, so nice. And you forget all the worries of the world, whatever they may be, isn't it? It's like it becomes, you realize that an Artupashamam, Bhakti Yoga Toshide, had nothing to do with the pure soul. It's just a passing phase on the screen of our consciousness. Here 1 minute, gone the next. This thing, that thing, and many of you have experienced horrible experiences. The war in Ukraine, others have problems here and there. Social issue, family issue, economic issues, mental issues, physical issues, doubts, stress. So many things we have we experience which are nothing really to do with the pure soul. Because we're identifying with them, we're meditating on them, we're absorbed in them, we feel the reaction for the combination of that. The result of meditating on it creates a certain type of reaction. When we meditate on Krishna, or we hear rapt attention about Krishna, then our consciousness is in a different direction. Krishna consciousness. At least for that time, we may be not so unalloyed to our mind or intelligence, maybe a little bit, disturbed when we go on other things going on. Association, we get distracted. But whilst you're there, it's like, you're feeling liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. It's never like it can be this could happen in a moment. And it does. You can be in the depths of depression sometimes, but something happens and all of a sudden, boom, the window and the curtains open. And you feel in another world. Hearing the Bhagavatam. Oh Lord, Prabhupada says, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you brought me here to dance, I was using the word dance, literally, but not exactly literally. In other words, I'm a puppet, and puppets are dancing puppet, strings. I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge. If Prabhupada doesn't have any devotion, if he doesn't have any knowledge, what to speak of us? isn't it? But this is how he feels. But have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. So today is also the World Holy Name Festival. Started yesterday, I forgot to mention it. It started yesterday. The World Holy Name Festival. This is the ISKCON project. I used to be. Somebody has to change the introduction. Sometimes they introduce me from. I haven't been directly involved in it for many years now, but I was at the beginning, right at the beginning of this inception of this World Holy Name Day, then the World Holy Name Week, then the World Holy Name Festival. But I'm not directly involved now, although possibly doing as much as anyone else sometimes. But it's the World Holy Name Week. Started yesterday. It goes on for 1 week. So in Wicklow, tomorrow we have Maha Harinam in Wicklow. I meant to invite the doors today, but I forgot. I all got caught up. In Tipperary, you have to have a Maha Harinam tomorrow, okay? Through the streets of Tipperary, dancing, chanting the holy names. Everywhere. In Dublin, you'll be doing Harinam tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wherever else you're from. Greystones. Gosh, you have to go on Harinam on the street in Greystones tomorrow, okay? Fire the place up. Up and down the street in Wicklow in 5 minutes. There's a little town centre, isn't there? A little bit, not very big. Right, Colleen? A little bit of a centre, right?
In Wicklow?
In Wicklow, yeah.
Very small center.
Yeah, small, but there's something there. Something is there. Where are you going? Athlone? Athlone? Have to do Harinam on the street in Athlone. Word holy name. Just tell the people it's just word holy name. What to do. But anyway, bear that in mind. This Word Holy Name Festival. So Prabhupada says here, a strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. And of course, this last 2 weeks or so, we've been talking a lot about Haridas Thakur. There's no time to speak about him tonight, practically, except for that we pray to Haridas Thakur. There's a beautiful prayer of Haridas Thakur. He prays to Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, my dear Mahaprabhu. I pray to you that when I chant your holy names, that the 10 offences do not affect me in any way. And I can become absorbed in the sweet rasa of Shiranama, pure chanting of the holy name. We all want to come to that stage of pure chanting. We pray to Haridas Thakur. And so to protect us from the temptations of this world. So many temptations are there. So many dangers are there to protect us that we don't fall victim to material, overly material affection in the case of dangers or attractions, etc. But that we take shelter of Krishna in these difficulties. And the way that Haridas Thakur taught to take shelter was quite simple, at least to begin with. Simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. This is the shelter. Prabhupada said Kirtan is our only shelter. It's the life of this movement. Attraction for chanting the holy names. This is in one sense, the message which Prabhupada is bringing forth here. He's praying that others will have an attraction for that name or for that subject of Krishna Katha. Even Prabhupada is saying, I have strong faith in the holy name. I remember reading in Jayananda Prabhu, one of the early saints of ISKCON, one of his famous quotes was, he was very simple devotee, but very pure. He would preach to people often. Well, one devotee, Jambalan, I think his name was. He said, Jayananda Prabhu said to him, always chant. You can't expect that everything's going to go well around here, even in Krishna conscious movement. You have to take shelter of the holy name. You have to chant the holy name. Keep chanting, keep chanting. Things will come and go, but keep chanting. Devotees will come and go. Temple presidents will come and go. Everything comes and goes in this world. But keep chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada had strong faith, and that's basically how he established this movement in the Western world. He said, my movement practically started from Tompkins Square Park. And Prabhupada went alone, with a few loose followers, you could say, into the park and chanted Hare Krishna. And those were Prabhupada's words. He said, practically my movement started from that moment. Tompkins Square Park. Now it's spread many places all over. In most countries of the world there are people chanting. On the street, in the home, in halls, here and there and everywhere. Online. And this is all Prabhupada's mercy. I recite of this poem. And then Prabhupada says, I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta. And now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purpose of Bhakti Vedanta. The conclusion of it. Final purpose of all the Vedas in devotion. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18th of September, 1965. I'll just read the next little bit before we sing the song so we don't miss it. On the 19th, this is for tomorrow because we won't be with you tomorrow, unfortunately. On the 19th of September, the Jaladuta sailed. It left on the 18th in the evening at 4 p.m. and through the night it traveled to Boston. It arrived in New York Harbor. Actually, it docked in Brooklyn Harbor. Later on it was discovered exactly where. It docked in Brooklyn Harbor. Oh, it says here, it docked at the Brooklyn Pier at 17th Street. Srila Prabhupada saw the awesome Manhattan skyline. When you first arrive, especially in Brooklyn, across the water from Manhattan, you can really see the skyline. It's very awesome, as it says here. Something Prabhupada had never seen before. A little bit in Boston, but this was the first time really. Quite from long distance it doesn't look, but when you get up close it's quite a sight. The Empire State Building, and like millions of immigrants in the past, the Statue of Liberty. Srila Prabhupada was dressed appropriately for a resident of Vrindavan. He wore kanti mala, neck beads, and a simple cotton dhoti, and he carried japa mala, chanting beads, and an old chadar shawl. His complexion was golden, his head shaven, shika in the back, his forehead decorated with a whitish Vaishnava tilak. He wore pointed white rubber shoes or slippers, not uncommon for sadhus in India. You may have had an experience from walking along the river Liffey the other day with your paint on your forehead. But Prabhupada was alone. You can imagine a lot of people must have commented. What is that? But who in New York had ever seen or dreamed of anyone appearing like this Vaishnava? First time in history. He was possibly the first Vaishnava sannyasi to arrive in New York with uncompromised appearance, but he was. Of course, New Yorkers have an expertise in not giving much attention to any kind of strange new arrival. That's a fact. They're pretty impervious. You can dress what you like, isn't it? Like, you know, they got that type of art, you know, do what you want, mate. Srila Prabhupada was on his own. He had a sponsor, Mr. Agarwal, somewhere in Pennsylvania. Surely someone would be here to greet him. Although he had little idea of what to do as he walked off the ship onto the pier, Prabhupada said, I did not know whether to turn left or right. He passed through the dockside formalities and was met by a representative from Traveller's Aid sent by the Agarwals in Pennsylvania, who offered to take him to the Scindia ticket office in Manhattan to book his return passage to India. At the Scindia office, Prabhupada spoke with the ticket agent, Joseph Forster, who was impressed by this unusual passenger's Vaishnava appearance, his light luggage, and his apparent poverty. He regarded Prabhupada as a priest. Most of Scindia's passengers were businessmen or families, so Mr. Forster had never seen a passenger wearing the traditional Vaishnava dress of India. He found Srila Prabhupada to be a pleasant gentleman who spoke of the nice accommodations and treatment he had received aboard the Jaladuta. Prabhupada asked Mr. Forster to hold space for him on a return ship to India. His plans were to leave in about 2 months, and he told Mr. Forster that he would keep in touch. Carrying only 40 rupees cash, which he called a few hours spending in New York, and an additional $20 he had collected, we mentioned that already, with an umbrella and suitcase in hand, and still escorted by the Traveller's Aid representative, he set out for the Port Authority bus terminal to arrange for his trip to Butler. So that was his first 2 days. A little brief mention, there's more elsewhere, that's enough for tonight. Of Prabhupada's arrival in America alone. What came next? No one in the world knew what was going on, really. Only at one moment somebody may have known he's from India, he's going to America, he's landed in Boston, now he's gone to New York. And that's the end of their knowledge. Now in New York, he's going on a bus, he's catching a night bus from New York. On the 19th, he called a night bus from New York to Pittsburgh, actually, Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania. And there in the morning of the 20th, Mr. Gopal Agarwal came in his Volkswagen, what do you call it, little
Beetle?
Beetle. No, it was one that carried more people, what they call those things.
Bus.
Not a minibus, like a little tiny Volkswagen.
Camper van.
It's like 9 seats in it or something, 8, 9 seats in it. So he bought that and he picked Prabhupada up in Pittsburgh and drove him to Butler. And it was in Butler just recently that Mr. Trump almost got killed. That was the assassination attempt took place in, of all places, in Butler. In a little tiny town in the middle of nowhere. I'm not saying there's any connection between the two, but anyway, it was kind of like interesting, reminded us. So Prabhupada, he stayed there for a couple of weeks, then he moved on. Where to? That's another story. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Over the grace of Srila Prabhupada, we're here this evening. I'm going to move this on top of the, it's a bit tight. It's pressing tightly against the,
You can put it around your neck and put it
can you?
Yeah.
This way around. They want to open the window.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Perfect.
Please open the windows. Let the warm air in.
Someone come in.
Devotees are passing out in ecstasy all over the place here.
Sorry. We have Ankuta Prabhu just arrived.
Oh, welcome. Who's come?
Ankuta Prabhu, you probably...
Ankota
Yes.
from America?
No.
All the way from America?
Kota used to be Ishvara Prabhu,
Ishvara Prabhu, he used to be
the
Ishvara
older
Prabhu, yes.
Indian gentleman.
Oh, okay. Ishwar's
No, no,
initiated. He's initiated, eh?
Back to Vikashna.
Very nice. Just in time for prasadam. That's very good. He's come all the way from Dublin. Dublin? Come on in. Ankota Prabhu, come in. Please come in. Give him a chair.
Who's going to play Madanga?
Mahananda's good on Madanga.
Oh, Mahananda could play.
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he's good on Madanga. Jivananda Prabhu's also good. Either one. Let Mahananda play. He's
Yeah.
one of his many talents.
Want some water?
Is he coming?
Yeah.
Come on, don't be shy.
He bought some chutney.
He brought some Oh, someone else is going to play Madanga. Where's it going?
So are you okay, Ankota?
Where are you going, Sundanita? I need you for the Madanga. Where are you going? What's he doing? Oh, you do Achama before you play the harmonium?
Of course not. It's a very auspicious occasion. Just the drum is a little bit high.
Ankota Prabhu, are you okay? Are you okay?
There he is.
So
Welcome.
He got lost in town.
In Wicklow, that's not surprising, eh? Such a big place, you know. Everyone gets lost in Wicklow. If you're not lost, you definitely get lost if you stay long enough. What to do? We've got to make Wicklow the transcendental haven. The holy name, the Srimad Bhagavatams. You must have had Harinam in Wicklow, haven't you?
We used to, before we moved here, we used to.
Oh, before you moved here, you did.
There's a bank where the bank is. It used to be on a Sunday. It was.
Market.
It was yeah, the priest gave out to us. It was there was a big space. But later on it wasn't available, I think. But it was,
Ah.
If you walk, you could probably get away with it, huh?
yeah, you had to stay in one place. You couldn't walk the paths are too narrow.
Well, you can walk one person in line.
The priest
That's
came
okay.
out and told
You
us
don't need more than that. 3 people in a line is a big party.
The priest, what was it he said?
The police or the priest, they can join in.
He
Both.
gave out to us for disturbing the peace.
The police will call the priest
Kali Yuga.
to disturb the peace. Because you disturb the peace, the priest will call the police.
Disturb the priest.
The peace or the priest
Disturbing the priest.
will call the police.
Disturbing the priest.
There's only one policeman and one priest and one devotee. They're all disturbing each other. He's disturbing me. Oh, he's disturbing me. You're disturbing both of us. Only 3 people on the street. Are we ready? Have you got the song? We sang it in. That's the wrong tune. Can you get the tune right, please? Who's that playing the wrong tune? I think this is some kind of nursery school or something. If you're going to keep your mobile on, at least have the right tune, please. Irish people, they're so jolly. Anyone who comes here, you get affected by it. Markine Bhagavata Dharma. Preaching the message of Bhagavatam in America. Guru Kripa Koile Krishna Odame Prati Bhara Kripa Koile Krishna Odame Prati Kilagia Nileta Koro Evekati Kilagia Nileta Koro Evekati Achikitu Kajatama Hey Anumane Achikitu Kajatama Hey No hikino anivene stane na hikino Vasudeva Kataruchina hai se prasana Vasudeva Kataruchina hai se Sakai Sambhavai Se Otuki Sakali Sambhavai Se Otuki Kimame Ujale Tara Uje Se Rasa Kimame Uje Se Rasa Eta Kripa Kora 거리 잊어버셔 해가 깊어 걸어가고 거리 잊어버셔 바람에 차여서 동마라 해쳐야 나셨나야 바라셔 정말 해쳐야 나셨나야 바라셔 You go down a little bit on the last letter there, not up. 다배이쳐 어해저리 다대라 우달 다배이쳐 어해저리 다대라 우달 우시비 예샤이 타베 카타 에토말 우시비 예샤이 타베 카타 에토말 바가바테 Katase Tabhavatar Bhagavate Katase Tabhavatar Jiraya Shune Jatikane Baba Shiraya Shune Jatikane Baba Shrivatam Svakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Punyatam Sakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Viryantaksha Yabhadrani Vidunoti Tirisatam Antaksha Yabhadrani Vidunoti Ashtapesh Babadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Ashtapesh Babadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamaśokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Jarajas Samo Bhava Namo Lopadayastaye Jarajas Samo Bhava Namo Lopadayastaye Cheteka Anavidam Titam Sate Prasidati Cheteka Anavidam Titam Sate Prasidati Ram Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yoga Evam Prasanna Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Abhidyate Dayagante Vidyante Sarvasankaya Vidyante Sarvasankaya Jiyante Tasya Karmani Vishtaiva Parishure Vidyante Karmani Vishtaiva Parishure Rajastamo Patetabe Pahibe Ishtar Rajastamo Patetabe Pahibe Ishtar Hridaye Habarasate Guchipe Taha Hridaye Habarasate Guchipe Kikure Pujavo Kata Guru Sechai Kikure Pujavo Kata Guru Sechai Guru Ami Inahina kono shakti nahi Gurare inahina kono shakti nahi Atacha tene Prabhu Voy pare eres voy pare y tomar echa Prabhu hey Ocho no se ama Akira Ragatu Vachane se ama Alankita Puriba Amata Toma Tata Surave Sabakita हमारे नाथ हरे नाथ हरे जाओ हमारे नाथ नाचायो नाचायो प्रभु नाचायो ते नाचे नाचायो नाचायो प्रभु नाचायो ते नाचे Nastera putali jata nachayo te mate Nastera putali jata nachayo Bhakti nai veda nai Name kukaro Bhakti nai Vedanta name Vedanta name Bhakti Vedanta Name Sata Oro Bhakti Vedanta. Where are we going here? Oh, Bhakti Vedanta Name Satakoro Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Go Premanandi Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivartakacharya Stotaya Tadashri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Sri Gaunitai Ki Shri Sri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON Mission Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada's writing Markandeya Bhagavat Dharma in Boston in 1965 on September the 18th in the morning Ki Jai. Bhadra Purim Ki Jai. Vishwarup Mahamahotsav Ki. World Holy Name Festival Ki Jai. Go Premanandi! All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhakti Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Name Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Pastachade Shatari. Hare Krishna to all the devotees who are online. Thank you for joining us. And Hare Krishna. All those devotees who are not online, all those devotees who, whatever line you're on, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Whichever line you're in, whatever line you're on. Everybody come together and chant the holy name of Krishna. Here they come. Hare Krishna. You going to get lost going back as well? I hope not.
Where were you lost? Where were you?
After I went from there in 50 of time.
Huh? What was that?
I'll drive you to the M50.
So thank you. Anyone like to add anything or comments? You have a 2-hour drive back to Tipperary. Is that right? Who came from Tipperary? Hands up the Tipperarians. Who is it? Only one?
No, that's Tipperary.
Come on, all the Tipperarians. Put your hands up, Tipperarians. Is that what they call people from Tipperary? Tipperarians? What do they call them?
Sounds right.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Tipperarian. I'm a Tipperarian.
Might have coined the phrase then.
Or Tippian.
Tippian.
That sounds a bit odd.
Tipperarian.
Tipperarian sounds good.
Tipperarian. Tipperarian, yes.
Well, thank you all for
Is that the
coming.
same?
Any-
Got your hand up.
Oh, Pami, you're always very good questions. Hare Krishna.
I have one question and Amrita Prabhu has another.
I have 5 questions.
You don't.
But it seemed like
You don't have 5 questions. Only 5? What's wrong with you? Yes, Pavani.
My question is about it's about the pastimes of Jaga and Madai.
Oh, no, that's what I knew. That's what I forgot to talk about tonight. Jaga and Mother, come on.
The question is, well, first of all, when Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu went to go and approach Jaga and Madai, Nityananda Prabhu tells Haridas Thakur, when you were beaten in the 22 different markets, you were praying for their well-being.
Who said that?
Nityananda Prabhu.
Where do you read that?
Huh?
Where did you read that?
In the same book of Hari.
Lord Chaitanya said that in the house of
Hari
Srivas
Vilas
Thakur.
Yes.
Rupa Vilas.
Rupa
That was in the
Vilas,
house of Srivas Pandit.
Yeah. Yes, but Nityananda Prabhu was telling Haridas Thakur that I think. I
Don't
can
recollect
read
that.
it for you.
I don't recollect he was telling that.
But he was saying that if you prayed in the same way, if you prayed for Jaga and Madai, they will be delivered. And Haridas Thakur replied, you are teasing me, because to think that I am a Vaishnava and Krishna is going to reciprocate with my desire to deliver them would be false, and that would be almost like thinking like an animal. but it is your desire, Nityananda Prabhu, it's your desire of wanting to deliver them, and that's how they're going to be delivered. And Nityananda Prabhu smiled at Haridas Thakur and was happy that he could understand that gesture. And then Nityananda Prabhu then says, as they are heading towards Jagai and Madai, he says, let's go and deliver Jagai and Madai, because if they do not desire, then it is his responsibility, as in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's responsibility. We are supposed to just preach the holy name. And if they do not take it, it's his responsibility. And in the purport to that, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says that if an elevated soul goes to preach to somebody to take the holy name, and if they don't take it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes part of the resultant of them not choosing. So the question is, in both cases, it seems like it's a question of free will. If it is their choice, why is he responsible if somebody didn't choose to take the holy name?
Where are you? Is Lord Chaitanya up there somewhere? Are you there, Lord Chaitanya? Or is that he also got a bit? Whew, I better be careful what I say next time. I'm going to get in trouble. Woo. Woo. I don't know where to start with that one. Why Lord Chaitanya is, in other words, who's responsible? Lord Chaitanya is responsible. It's all his fault, isn't it? Must be. Why they're not taking the books? Why they're not chanting Hare Krishna? Why they're not surrendering? Well, what do you think? Well, there's one thing here which is very wonderful. First of all, if it was easily done by simply Haridas Thakur praying as he did with those Muslim persons who were trying to kill him, maybe you could say that was very good. But first of all, Lord Nityananda wasn't physically present at that moment when that particular pastime. That pastime took place before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the planet. Haridas Thakur was alone there, really, in a sense. In this particular case, what are they doing? What are they doing there? Preaching to Jagai and Madai. And this is the order of Lord Chaitanya. He told them to do it, is that right? You were more updated, you've been reading obviously very carefully the last few days. They preached, Lord Chaitanya's ordered them to go and preach the message of the holy name in every marketplace without discrimination, practically speaking, give it to everyone. So they did. And now if Haridas had simply prayed to Lord Chaitanya for their benediction or their delivery, whatever it was, as he did, as you say, Nityananda reminded him of that, why you do it if you say you're not going to go on, whatever it is. That would be not a very good example for us, would it? Lord Nityananda is Adi Guru, he's teaching us how to preach. He's our link, you could say, to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if it was just merely by desire alone, which could be, no doubt, a change of heart can be evoked by that strong will, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a bigger plan, much bigger plan here. He wants to engage us all in the act of Sankirtan, of going out to the most fallen. Instead, actually, in order to get them, going backwards a little bit here, but if we go back to our ultimate goal of a devotee's life is to awaken prema, Krishna prema. To get Krishna prema, we have to have the mercy of Radharani. To get the mercy of Radharani, we have to have the mercy of the gopis. We can't go directly through Radharani. We have to go through her Sakis and her Manjaris and so on and so forth. To get that mercy, we have to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To get that, we have to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. You could say it the other way around also, it's interchangeable. To get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one has to preach the Jagais and Madhais. It's not as easy as it sounds. One has to be willing to follow in that footpath to get the real mercy. There's mercy for everyone, no doubt. But if we want the full mercy, which enables one on one's path back to you could say, to the eternal abode, Goloka Vrindavan, one has to be willing to follow in the footsteps of Lord Nityananda and preach to the Jagais and Madhais. It's not so much a shortcut process there. If we want that highest mercy brought by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to preach to the Jagais and Madhais. Whether they take or not, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concerned, and we see this again and again as Srila Prabhupada is, in the deliverance of the devotee, that the devotee become eligible or taken back to the spiritual realm. For the jivas in general, as we discussed yesterday, by the mere fact that they came in contact with the devotee, rightly or wrongly, in terms of their response, they may have been aggressive or non-aggressive. They may not listen, or they may listen. They may take or not take the book. They are getting, the beginning of their spiritual life has begun. There is no loss or diminution. Anyone who comes in contact with the Sankirtan movement in any form, shape, or whatever, their spiritual life has begun, at least to be awoken again. There is absolutely no loss. So from a devotee's point of view, a devotee feels that they failed sometimes, we failed to help that devotee. And in this particular case, well, what can we say? The relationship between Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda and Haridas, what can we say? A devotee would never blame Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you could say, for that one. Lord Nityananda Prabhu has we know the relationship between Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or between Krishna and Balaram sometimes. They're brothers, they're completely on a different platform altogether. We would never blame Lord Chaitanya. However, we saw just now in the prayer of Prabhupada that Prabhupada said, by your will they can be, Prabhupada said, Krishna, by your will they can be delivered. I desire it, but ultimately it depends on your will. So it certainly can't. But Lord Chaitanya is trying to evoke unlimited, you could say in the devotee's heart, unlimited compassion for the conditioned souls. They will go out of their way, any way they can. The devotee will go out of their way for the conditioned souls. In somewhere or another, sacrificing their life like Prabhupada did. As Prabhupada said about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said he could have done that whole mission on his own. So he didn't want to, because he wanted to leave it to us. Lord Chaitanya wants us to develop this mood, this highest mood of compassion. The highest mood of compassion is the mood of Radharani. It's the mood of Vipalamba Bhav. It's the mood of Krishna Prema, Mahabhav of Radharani. He wants to shower the world with that Mahabhav, not something less than that. And that is when the heart is simply an ocean of compassion for Krishna's pleasure, which means all living entities. The devotee is begging for devotion, begging for love, begging for the deliverance of the conditioned souls. And that's the mood which evokes, you could say, the attention of the Lord in its fullest. When we're in that complete dependent state, as Prabhupada expressed in his poem, which we just entered into a little tiny bit. But what the exact interaction between Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, Lord Nityananda is a very, is abadut. He is very extraordinarily ecstatic and extraordinarily unpredictable. And the pastimes between Haridas and Nityananda are also very extraordinary. And how Haridas is accusing Nityananda and so on and so forth. In this wonderful pastimes which we can at least become purified by hearing, and hopefully become a little inspired to follow in that mood. But we certainly don't blame Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for somebody not taking a book or not joining in with the Harinam. We're so grateful to have this opportunity of devotees. Tatenu kampam susamikshamanam bhujana vatmikatavipakum. That he's depending entirely upon the Lord. Whatever you give me, my Lord, whatever you do, that's up to you. I'm your sold out servant. You can do what you like with me. Such a devotee becomes eligible to go back to Godhead, to the kingdom of God. So the devotee it's a spur on that the devotee feels that they have failed to, help that person, and then you're praying, you become a better instrument for the mission of the Lord. The will of the Lord is everyone should go back to God, but the living entity does have its free will. He does have his free will. And we can't enforce that. As the devotee becomes more and more determined or desirous to see that the living entities go back to Godhead like Srila Prabhupada, and more. Within the heart, Krishna will inspire them. But even if they don't appear to be inspired, they're beginning, their path has begun. Agyata Sakriti has begun. They're on the way back to Godhead. It may take lifetimes. Lord Chaitanya, through the devotee, through Nityananda, is giving a little drop of that mercy. So, anyway, I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but it certainly brings, from our side, it brings that out of us. Otherwise, we think that we're powerful enough just to pray or something like that. Or somebody else is powerful enough just to pray. We cannot imitate the pure devotees of the Lord. They may be able to do that, but they want us to also experience that nectar, that ecstasy of preaching or giving Krishna consciousness to others, and thus becoming eligible to receive ultimately the mercy of Radharani, which has come down to us in this movement, and it will take us back if we take that mercy and share it with others as much as we can. I'll reread the section. I can't remember reading that section a long time back. I didn't recollect that section that you just brought up just now. Thank you for reminding us. I'll reread it. You have the Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj's commentary on the Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful, beautiful book. Absolutely wonderful. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj's commentary on Chaitanya Bhagavat. He goes into great ecstatic detail on the pastime of Jagai and Madai. You'll see that the comment of Lochan Das Thakur, the comments of Vrindavan Das Thakur, the comments of Krishna Das Kaviraj are slightly different. Same principle, but the details are slightly different also. You see slightly different scenario in the events that took place, but the principle is the same. And there's nothing wrong with that. If three people see the same event, they're all seeing the same event, but they've all got a slightly different angle of vision of the same event. And they'll tell you a slightly different story about the same thing. They're all correct in their own way. No one's completely wrong. And they're all completely right. Gives extra flavor to these pastimes. The nature of the inconceivability of transcendental subject matter. You can't box it down to a measurable dimension. Reduce it to something within our brain's capacity or something. These are to purify us. These pastimes are there to purify us. We don't imitate, we try to follow. Those are, it's like Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, for instance, is a good example. Those are on that platform of intimacy. He was in Vatsalya Bhav, by the way. He wasn't in the normal Bhav. He was at Vatsalya Bhav with Krishna, his deity. One time when he went out somewhere, he came back and whatever little utensils he had for worshipping the deities were stolen by somebody. And he started shouting at the deity, "I told you to look after things, you rascal." He's going at the deity like this. "You were supposed to protect the house. Why are you you're not doing your job." He was shouting at this deity like this. You know. Can we do that? No way. Forget it. Absolutely not. But we can't. We don't imitate, we follow. He's an eternal associate of the Lord in Vatsalya Bhav. So he's like a mother. "You naughty boy, I told you not to do this and you did it. Oh, take this, Mother Yasoda." We can't imitate that. So whatever they say, we can perhaps, if it was analysed a bit more, we could probably say something more, but ultimately it's whatever plan the Lord has, it's all part of his pastimes. That's a nice tune. Can you play that again? Can you play that one, Chandra? Can you sing the Maha Mantra to that tune? That's nice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I don't know, I've forgotten the tune. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sure, it's a nice tune. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, Pavani, I can't say much more.
Thank you
now.
so much, Maharaj. It's
You-
more than,
you-
more than
You drew out of me whatever I'm drawing. No, very enlivened. Thank you very much for that question. And Kota,
Yes.
you're not going to ask me the way back to Dublin, are you?
18 years
You go down the hill and keep driving.
First met you 18 years ago.
Pardon?
Dublin Temple.
You were 80 years old?
18 years. 18 years.
You were 18 years old?
No.
What do you say? You can't hear very well.
I'll tell you how old I am if you want to know.
First met you 18 years ago.
Oh, you met me 18 years ago.
Dublin Temple, yes.
Uh-huh.
When I joined.
Yeah.
But I have two questions to ask you.
You still got questions after 18 years. The battle's not over yet. 18 days, the Battle of Kurukshetra. Yes.
First question. Why is Haridas Thakur called Namacharya?
Why what?
Why is Haridas Thakur called
Acharya. Okay. Nama Acharya. Okay, you probably missed the class we've been given in. No, we didn't give one in did we give one in? No, we didn't do it talking Dublin. Well, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared that he's the Nama Acharya because he was given, Lord Chaitanya gave him this responsibility to chant the holy name constantly. And Lord Chaitanya said, you not only chant, or you not only spread the holy name, but you behave perfectly. So Acharya is one who shows by example. So Haridas Thakur was showing the example of the Yuga Dharma by always chanting the holy name. Lord Chaitanya's principles, Kirtaniya Siddhari, always chant the holy name. And Haridas Thakur was the personification of that aspect of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan. The highest principle, you could say, of his mission was to spread external principle, the holy name of Krishna. And so he was the Acharya of that principle, of chanting the holy name, spreading the holy name. He wasn't just chanting to himself, he was also preaching the holy name in various cases. I heard one just now in Rath Yatra and various other places, he would be glorifying the holy name of Krishna. So that's an Acharya, one who teaches by example. And he taught by example. Another one? Number 2.
The second question is there any similarity between the difficulty that Queen Kunti had and that of Haridas Thakur?
They're all related. They all teach different situations. Even Jesus Christ, there's a lot of corollaries in many ways between Jesus Christ, his ordeal, and that of Haridas Thakur. There's a lot in common. And Queen Kunti is, you could say, a little bit different in some ways, but always there's some similarities. Everyone's variety in every situation is there. But the principle is the same. And what is the key principle in all these situations? I can't quote directly from the Bible. I can quote that Jesus Christ was praying to God, please forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. He took shelter of God. Haridas Thakur was taking shelter of Krishna by chanting constantly while he was being beaten, or any other trial, come to that. Queen Kunti also was taking shelter of Krishna. Draupadi was taking shelter of Krishna in her ordeal, Govinda. This is the common thread, that they're teaching us this basic principle. How it manifests may vary slightly in different time, place, and circumstance, but the principle is the same. Take shelter of Krishna. He's our only protector, our only shelter. And that's what we're here for, to realize that we may try our best to protect ourselves and do whatever we think we have to do in life. But ultimately the purpose is to completely take shelter of Krishna, realizing ultimately he is the only shelter. We have no other shelter. Sarva dharma parityagya mamekam sharanam. We give up all other shelters and complete shelter of Krishna. So that's what all of these pure devotees teach. So there's a lot of things in common. The main thing is completely in common. The details of how they take shelter may vary. How the Lord gives shelter may vary. But the principle is the same. The principle is the same. They're teaching that in every situation, good or bad, we have to take shelter of Krishna. Whether you're lost in Wicklow, or whether you're found in Wicklow, or whether you're whatever you are in Wicklow, we have to take, especially in Wicklow, we have to take shelter of Krishna. And even if you're in Tipperary, you still have to take shelter. Even if you're in Tipperary, you have to take shelter of Krishna. What to speak of Dublin?
That's Dublin.
Huh?
You have to take twice as much prayer.
Dublin, you
Dublin.
have to double it in Dublin.
Double it.
Double it. Double it. Wherever we are, that's the whole idea. You know? Not just when we're in difficulty. All these examples given there are in difficult situations. Oftentimes people remember in difficult situations, God saved me, isn't it? And then as soon as they're saved, then they forget about God again. No, the devotee takes shelter in every situation. Not just when they're in difficulty. We're always in difficulty, we don't realize it. There's dangers, masutaye padabalavam padam punya. Yashomarari, there's danger every step. And even if we don't step, there's danger. Lying in your bed, there's danger. Right? In the bathroom, there's danger. Wherever you are, there's danger. The material world is a dangerous place. So in every situation, sometimes it's more dangerous when things are going well because we forget to take shelter of Krishna. Get carried away with enjoying our situation. There seems to be no problem. I feel okay, it's great. The surf's up, the beer is great. Ice cold beer. My girlfriend's fantastic. Just has a great meal. Yeah, you may think like that. Those are the most dangerous situations. Maya tempting us. We're going to take shelter of Krishna in all situations. Jesus was tempted also, they say anyway, by the devil or whatever they call it. Temptations to indulge in sinful activity are always lurking. Getting carried away. Getting attached to this body, getting attached to this material world is very dangerous. So the pure devotees teach us to become attached to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I think it's time to become, we're already attached, but to fulfill our desires for prasadam. If there is any.